First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory to the Most High God Yahweh, and we do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly called Christ. Today is another Torah portion reading. To my left, I got the Elder Nathaniel.
Shalom, Shabbat Shalom.
Khan.
Thank all y'all for coming out. This week, Torah portion will be reading in Genesis, the 18th chapter, from the first verse, going all the way over to Genesis, the 22nd chapter, verse 24.
That's right.
This Torah portion is called Vayera, meaning he appeared. And we'll be reading about Abraham, because last week we read about how Abram, his name was changed to Abraham, and Sarai was name changed to Sarah. So now we're reading about their journeys and their and about Abraham's commitment in the faith to the Most High, which was tested. We'll read about that. Interesting reading this week, as always, to give you further insight about your history, about your people, about your nationality.
That's right.
Okay?
Right.
You're reading about yourself so you can understand. Okay? You're reading about your forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob had 10 sons and 2 grandsons, which later became the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, our nation. Okay? But because of our ignorance, because of our disobedience, we were scattered to the 4 corners of the earth and put into all captivities under all nations, all right, which you already know. But we're near the end of our captivity. We're coming up to the 400-year mark. The Most High said that he will deliver us after 400 years. Not to say that we know the exact time or date, but we do know that we're near the end of our captivity. And we see the events worldwide, global, that's happening by the hand of the Most High, Yahweh, to bring about the final prophecy about the deliverance of our nation, the nation of Yasharahla. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to stand and face towards Jerusalem, depending on where you're located at. Looking at this Torah portion, stand towards your east, all right, and we'll be facing Jerusalem and setting up the weekly Shabbat prayers. So I say Amaniyam upon Jerusalem. Let's stand and face Jerusalem. And we'll start with Yahweh Shai's prayer, which is known as Abanawa, and it's taken from Matthew, the 6th chapter, verses 9 to 13. Call and response. Is everybody ready?
Fine.
Good. Here we go. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Haya. Shamka. Yahweh. Malakavka. Taba'a. Ratazaka. Haya. Aisha. Barataza. Kahaya. Bashamayim. Nathanawa. Lakam. Call. Yawam. Wasalak now. Kabawaf now. Kashalak now. Kabawaf now. Wala'a. That be our now. Benasan your one. Abo. Hawashai now. Manrai. Kaya. Laka. Hamalakwa. Wa'ala. Watapara. Wa'irulum. Aman. Basham. Yahweh Hamashiach. Aman. Our Father. Which art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Yahweh. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us. Our debts. As we forgive. Our debtors. And lead us not. Into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. Hallelujah. Bashem. Yahushua. Hamashiach. Amen. Okay, the next prayers will be taken from Psalms 84 verse 4, Psalms 144 verse 15, Psalms 145. Psalms 115 verse 18. I'll say it in English. We haven't come to that Great day that we'll say it all in Hebrew. Be advised, be advised, be advised. But we'll say it in English. I'll just say it. You don't have to, we won't do call and response. Be time efficient. Here we go. Blessed are the day that dwell in thy house. No call and response on this. Okay. Blessed are the they that dwell in thy house. They will still be praising thee, Selah. Happy is that people that in such a case. Yea, happy is that people whose Allahiyah is Yahweh. I will have told thee my Allahiyah, O King, and I will bless thy name forever and ever. Every day will I bless thee, and I will praise thy name forever and ever. Great is Yahweh, and greatly to be praised, and his greatness unsearchable. One generation shall praise thy works to another, and I shall declare thy mighty acts. I will speak of the glorious honor of thy majesty, and of thy wondrous works. And men shall speak of the might of thy terrible acts, and I will declare thy greatness. They shall abundantly utter the memory of thy great goodness, and shall sing of thy righteousness. Yahweh is gracious and full of compassion, slow to anger and of great mercy. Yahweh is good to all, and his tender mercies are over all his works. All thy works shall praise thee, O Yahweh, and thy saints shall bless thee. They shall speak of the glory of thy kingdom and talk of thy power, to make known to the sons of men his mighty acts and the glorious majesty of his kingdom. Thy kingdom is everlasting kingdom, and thy dominion endures throughout all generations. Yahweh upholdeth all that fall, and raises up all those that be bowed down. Bow down, proselyte. Bear with me. And raises up all those that be bowed down. The eyes of all wait upon thee, and thou givest them their meat in due season. Thou openest thy hand and satisfy desire every living thing. Yahweh is righteous in all his ways, and holy in all his works. Yahweh is nigh unto all that call upon him, to all that call upon him in truth. He will fulfill the desire of them that fear him. He also will hear their cry and will save them. Yahweh preserves them that love him, but all the wicked will he destroy. My mouth shall speak the praise of Yahweh, and let all flesh bless his holy name forever and ever. But we will bless Yahweh from this time forth and forevermore. Hallelujah.
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 Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay, the first three prayers of the Mada, call and response. Abawaf, Barakatan, Yahweh, Allahayanawa, Allahaya, Abawaflanawa, Allahaya, Abaraham, Allahaya, Yatazakwa, Wahala, Haya, Yaikwa, Allah, Shaya, Allah, Ayawan, Gamal, Kasadayam, Barakatan, Yahweh, Magun, Abaraham, Gabawarwa, Athan, Yahweh, Gawar, La'awalam, Yahweh, Makaya, Matayam, Wamaya, Dawama, Laka, Malak, Ha'awalam, Mamaya, Wamakaya, Barakatan, Yahweh, Makaya, Matayam, Quadawarhash, Shum, Yahweh, Athan, Quadayash, Washamka, Quadawash, Quadawasham, Bakal, Yawam, Allah, La, Wakal, Salah, Barakatan, Yahweh, Ha, Allah,
Allah,
Hakwa the wash.
Hakwa the wash.
Blessed are you,
Blessed are you,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
the power of our
the
father,
power of our father,
the power of
the
Abraham,
power of Abraham,
the power of Isaac,
the power of Isaac,
the power of
the
Yahweh,
power of Yahweh,
Almighty power,
Almighty power,
Most High power,
Most High power,
who bestows mercy.
who bestows mercy.
Blessed are you,
Blessed are you,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shield of Abraham,
Shield of Abraham,
you are mighty Yahweh,
you are mighty Yahweh,
forever,
forever,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
who revives the dead,
who revives the dead,
who's comparable to you,
who is comparable to you,
King of eternity,
King of eternity,
who caused death
who caused death
and gives life.
and gives life.
Blessed are you,
Blessed are you,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
who gives life
who gives life
to the dead.
to the dead.
You are holy Yahweh,
You are holy,
and
Yahweh,
your name is holy.
and your name is holy.
And the Holy One,
And the Holy One,
every day,
every day,
praise you
praise you
forever.
forever.
Blessed are you,
Blessed are you,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
the power,
the power,
who is holy.
who is holy.
Bashem,
Bashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh Shai,
Hamashiach,
Hamashiach,
Aman.
Aman.
Stand, Mariam. Okay, we're going to do the anointing prayer. The anointing prayer will be taken from Numbers, the 6th chapter, verses 24 through 26. Set the order, how people will say the name. When I get to the part, when I say Yahweh, Barak, Rapar, Shamar, Kazak, that's when you'll repeat your name in order.
So it will go from him, me, and
Okay, everybody clear?
God.
You clear?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right, here we go. The anointing prayer. Yabaraka.
Yabaraka,
Let's try it again. Yabaraka.
Yabaraka,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Washamar.
Baraka,
Yahweh.
Yahweh, Yahweh,
Panyawa.
Panyawa,
Ayaka.
Ayaka,
Wayakanka.
Wayakanka,
Yasha'a.
Yasha'a,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Panyawa.
Panyawa,
Ayaka.
Ayaka,
Wayashamlaka.
Wayashamlaka,
Shalom.
Shalom,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Barak.
Barak,
Rapar.
Rapar,
Shamar.
Shamar,
Kazak.
Kazak, Hashab Yogabar,
Zanakaria.
Marakai.
Nathaniel. Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Barak.
Barak,
Rapar.
Rapar,
Shamar.
Shamar,
Kazak.
Kazak, Hashab Yogabar,
Zanakaria.
Marakai.
Nathaniel. Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Barak.
Barak,
Rapar.
Rapar,
Shamar.
Shamar,
Kazak.
Kazak, Hashab Yogabar,
Zanakaria.
Marakai.
Nathaniel. Bashem.
Bashem,
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai,
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach,
Aman.
Aman.
Yahweh bless thee
Yahweh bless thee
and keep thee.
and keep thee.
Aman.
Aman.
Yahweh.
Yahweh
Make his face.
make his face
Shine upon thee.
shine upon
And be
thee
gracious.
and be gracious
Unto thee.
unto thee.
Aman.
Aman.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Lift up his countenance.
Lift up his countenance
Upon thee.
upon thee
And give thee peace.
and give thee peace.
Aman.
Aman.
Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Aman.
Aman.
Okay, last three prayers of Mada. Abba Wadah.
Abba Wadah,
Ratazah.
Ratazah,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Allahayinau.
Allahayinau,
Ba'ainka.
Ba'ainka,
Yasha'ala.
Yasha'ala,
Wapanawa.
Wapanawa,
Wahapsha.
Wahapsha,
Abba Wadah.
Abba Wadah,
Bayaka.
Bayaka,
Mwakwadashka.
Wakordashka,
Hahapsha.
Hahapsha,
Banya.
Banya,
Tazakwa.
Tazakwa,
Bun.
Bun,
Aharon.
Aharon,
Barakathan.
Barakathan,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Hapsha.
Hapsha,
Abba Wadah.
Abba Wadah,
Bayaka.
Bayaka,
La Yahanyaka.
Layahanika,
Hawadah.
Hawadah,
Mawadayam.
Mawadayam,
Anak Nawa.
Anak Nawa,
Laka.
Laka,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Allahayinau.
Allahayinau,
La'iwalam.
La'iwalam,
Magun.
Magun,
Yeshainau.
Yeshainau,
Shalom.
Shalom,
Shayam.
Shayam,
Shalom.
Shalom,
Tawabah.
Tawabah,
Wabarakan.
Wabarakan,
Kahan.
Kahan,
Wakasad.
Wakasad,
Rabarakakayam.
Warakayam,
Halanawa.
Halanawa,
Wa'ayel.
Wa'ayel,
Call.
Call,
Yasha'ala.
Yasha'ala,
Anka.
Anka,
Be favorable.
be favorable,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
To your people.
to your people,
Yasha'ala.
Yasha'ala,
And to our prayer.
and to our prayers,
Restore.
restore
The service.
the service
Of your holy house.
of your holy house,
And restore.
and restore
The son.
the sons
Of.
of
Tazakwak.
Tazakwa,
Zada.
Zada,
Son of Haran.
Saharan,
Blessed are you,
Blessed are you,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
that restores
the
service
service
of your house to your priest.
to your priest.
We thank you, Yahweh.
We thank you, Yahweh.
Our power,
Forever.
shield of our salvation,
Shield of our salvation.
grant peace, goodness, and blessings, grace and kindness, and compassion upon us, and upon all, Yasha your people. Okay, we're gonna do Psalms 121, a song of degrees. We're gonna do that in a Vayera, Paleo Hebrew, as y'all know. Y'all ready?
Come.
Okay. Asha'ah, Anyanya, Ayo, Aharyam, Mahayan, Azariah, Ma'ayin, Yahweh, Asha'ah, Shemayim, Wa, Aratazah, La'ah, Yatan, Lamawat, Ragalka, La'ah, Yadawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'ah, Yana Wala'ah, Yanashan, Shawamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Ayo, Yun, Ka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yarakaka, Ha, La Yala, Yahweh, Yashamar, Makal, Rai, Yashamar, Napashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Yatazalka, Wabarakakan, Ma'aitan, Wa'ayo, Iwalam, Aman. The water, Damyad, Aman. Okay, Psalms 121, a song of degrees. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help coming from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Yasha'al shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper, Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, Aman. Okay. Psalms 92. Got it. Yes, Psalms 92.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 92 and verse 1. It is a good thing to give thanks unto the Lord, and to sing his praises unto thy name, O Most High, to shew forth thy loving kindness in the morning, and thy faithfulness every night. Upon an instrument of 10 strings, and upon a psaltery, upon a harp with a solemn sound. For thou, Lord, hast made me glad through thy work. I will triumph in the works of thy hands. O Lord, how great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep. A brutish man knoweth not, neither doeth a fool understand this. When the wicked spring as the grass, and when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. But thou, Lord, art most high forevermore. For lo, thy enemies, O Lord, for lo, thy enemies shall perish, all the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But my horn shalt thou exalt like the horn of an unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. My eye also shall see my desire on my enemies, and my ears shall hear my desire of the wicked that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of the Lord shall flourish in the courts of our God. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing, to shew that the Lord is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him.
Bashem, Yahweh Shai,
Hamashiach,
Aman. Hallelujah,
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 Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bashem,
Bashem,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
the water,
the water,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Hashabah,
Hashabah,
the water, Kaya,
Kaya,
Amafka,
Amafka,
the water,
Kaya,
Hashabah,
Hashabah,
the water, Kaya,
Kaya,
the water, Kaya, Yahushai, Hamashiach, Aman. Okay, your shopping, please be seated. Who's reading? Okay, we'll start off in Genesis 18th chapter. First reader, registry.
Hashab Yagabar, Ban Merle, Ban Yahawada, Ban Yasharala.
Amadium, Barak,
Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Brakatah.
Yahweh Shem Yahushai Barakatah. You have the Bible on here? Sure. You have the Bible?
Yeah. Genesis
18,
18.
starting from the first verse. So we're gonna read about Abraham and Sarah and the promises that the Most High made unto them, and we're gonna go ahead and get started.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 18 and verse 1. And the Lord appeared unto him in the plains of Memrah, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door.
So 3 men, okay, 3 angels came to meet Abraham. Okay, so he ran to meet them. Okay, so we're gonna read about these 3 men. Okay, quote unquote, but these weren't ordinary men. Okay, these were angels from the Most High. All right, so go ahead.
And bowed himself toward the ground, and said, My Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, for thy servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts. After that you shall pass on.
So he's being a good host. He's gonna walk. He proselyted to them, bowed to them. Okay, then he offered to wash their feet and feed them, and give them the comfort of cool shade. Okay, so obviously Abraham recognized that these weren't ordinary men for him to even go that far in hospitality. All right.
His hospitality was above.
Right. On another level. Okay. Not having to have met these men in life, but just to recognize the spirit and the aura that they came in. Okay, this is what he did for them. What verse you in?
Verse 5.
All right.
For therefore are you come to your servant? And they said, So do as thou hast said. And Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine milk, netted, and make cakes upon the herd.
So basically, take the flour and make it into some bread, and then put it on the heath, which is the fire, to let it cook. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 7. And Abraham ran unto the herd, and fetched a calf, tender and good, and gave it unto a young man, and he had hasted to dress it.
So kill it, dress it, prepare it to be cooked, seasoned, and served. All right, so go ahead.
And he took butter and milk and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them, and he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat.
Okay, so so they got butter for the bread. Gotta have butter for bread. All right. The meat cooked and milk. I don't know about the milk.
So was he cooking for these?
No, he's got a house full of servants. So he's not actually doing the cooking. He ordered for what to be done. He came in the tent first and told Sarah to like, hey, we need that bread. She was on the bread. Then he went to the flock and told another servant, hey, take this. He picked the calf. But then he had somebody else go ahead and dress it.
Yeah, make sure he picked the calf.
Right. He had the eye. He knew which one he wanted. You know what I'm saying? So he picked the calf, but then he had the servant dress it, kill it, and get it prepared. All right. So it was an operation going on. more than one person was had their hand to the plow.
Were they going to drink this water and eat this food?
The people that came to meet Abraham, yes, they're going to
The
drink this milk.
beings, these
Yeah.
angels?
Yeah, they are.
So they can sit down and eat?
They can, but their bodies are celestial. Okay, they went through the motion to show that they respected the gesture that Abraham did to them. Okay, so they didn't need to eat, they didn't need to drink, but they went through the motions of eating and drinking with Abraham to partake of his hospitality.
So they ate the food and drank the wine.
Yeah. Well, but that's another. I mean,
Right.
They didn't need those nutrients at all. Okay. The fact that they went through the motion just shows that they're able to do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Basically, is what I'm saying. Why they're able to do that.
Yeah, they were able to do
Yeah,
that.
that'll answer a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, on this mission, okay, there's other missions that angels come that they don't eat and drink, and they come and handle business. So understand, it's depending on the mission.
I know what makes it.
Yeah, right. All right. So, where you at?
Verse 9.
So they're eating the bread with the butter, milk with the meat. All right, go ahead. Now Abraham asked them, why you come to see me? Go ahead.
Come. And they said unto him, where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to time of life. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of woman. Therefore,
so ceased to be after the manner of woman is that she came to her menopause where technically she wasn't able to have any more kids.
come.
Okay. Technically. Okay, but with the Most High, all things are possible. If it is His will, and His will be done. Go ahead.
Therefore,
Hold up.
I got a precept real quick.
All right. Call you precept.
We're just talking about that right now. If everybody was listening. Okay, this is Psalms chapter 92 and verse 14. I'm sorry, 13. Those that be planted in the house of the Lord shall flourish in the courts of our God. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing.
So, old age, which Abraham and Sarah was at, they would be able to bring forth fruit, which is children. Okay. All right, where you at?
verse 12.
All right, go ahead.
Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, after I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure? My Lord being old also.
So, I mean, reality at that time, even modern times, Sarah was basically saying, how is this possible? We don't have those issues anymore. Okay, we're not able to have those issues anymore in her mind. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 13. And the Lord said unto Abraham, wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, shall I of a surety bear a child, which am old? Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the time appointed will I return unto thee, according to the time of life.
So one of the angels basically told Abraham, your wife laughed, saying that this is not possible. Let me assure you that this isn't by our hand, it's by the hand of the Most High. All things are possible. So that's what he's telling Abraham. Go ahead.
And Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laughed not, for she was afraid. And he said, nay, but thou didst laugh. And the men rose up from thence and looked toward Sodom. And Abraham went with them to bring them on the way.
So now we're getting a foresight of why these three men appeared to Abraham. They're going to Sodom. Okay, what was Sodom and Gomorrah? 5 cities of Canaanites laden with homosexuality, bestiality, all types of wickedness and perversion. modern day Babylon, which is today, modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, which is America. Okay, the cesspool of all matter of wickedness and evil. Okay, so they're going to Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, and on the way of going there, they're going to tell Abraham what is the judgment of the Most High towards Sodom and Gomorrah. I'm speaking ahead. We're going to read that. What verse you in?
Verse 17.
Okay.
And the Lord said, shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do? Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him.
So all nations shall be blessed in Abraham, because he shall be the father of many nations. Okay. And now one of the angels is saying, should I hide the deed or the task that we're set on to do? And he basically answered and said, no, I'm not going to hide it, by his answer. Go ahead.
Verse 19. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham.
So the judgment and justice and the righteousness that the Lord will bring on Abraham is based on Abraham's commitment to obedience to the Most High, him as well as his household. Okay, all his servants, all his children, etc., being obedient to the word of the Most High.
Come.
All right, commandments, dietary, Torah, all that. Okay, go ahead.
That which he has spoken of him. And the Lord said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me. And if not, I will know. And the men turned their faces from thence and went toward Sodom. But Abraham stood yet before the Lord. And Abraham drew near and said, wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Peradventure, Pre-adventure, there be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy, and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? That be far off from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked. That be far from thee. Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? And the Lord said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes.
So Abraham is pleading for the righteous that might be dwelling in the city of Sodom. And the angel said, well, if we find 50 righteous men, then we'll spare the city. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 27. And Abraham answered and said, behold now, I have taken me to speak unto the Lord, which am but dust and ashes. Peradventure there shall lack 5 of the 50 righteous. Wilt thou destroy all the city for lack of 5? And he said, if I find there 40 and 5, I will not destroy it.
So he said, now he broke that number down even further. He said, if they find
45.
45, okay. Will they spare the city? They said, nah, yeah, we'll spare the city if we find 45.
And they already know.
Well, they already know, because they wouldn't be walking towards Sodom if it wasn't already in judgment.
They're just entertaining the thought of Abraham.
Right.
Abraham talking about, hey, if you find 45, we'll spare it. You know, it's making them feel a little bit better, but
we know the deal.
We about to destroy this place, man.
Man, go ahead.
And he spake unto him yet again, and said, peradventure there shall be 40 found there. And he said, I will not do it for 40's sake.
So now he went down even further, 40. Went from 50 to 45, 45 to 40. Go ahead.
Verse 30. And he said unto him, O let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure there shall 30 be found there.
So now he asking if 30 be found there, can you spare the city? They said, yeah, we'll spare it for 30.
Hey, Abraham is starstruck right now because them angels around him, he's not picking up the fact that they just We still want to destroy it.
Okay.
Right.
30 over here.
Right. We don't come from the fourth to the third on a humbug.
Yeah.
When we come through dimensions, we come in a wreck shop.
Exactly.
You know, put things in order. You know, fire and brimstone, so you can understand.
That's it. They ain't coming for nothing. Just to wait to see if he can go and hold camp and find 45 more, 40 more.
All right, go ahead.
And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And he said, behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord. Peradventure there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake. And
so 30 to 20. He trying. He
50,
trying.
45,
40,
Did he
30.
30?
No, yeah, he hit
yeah,
30.
30.
30, then 20.
Then 20.
20. So he ain't doing the 5 increment. He going 10.
Yeah.
At 10 a shot now. Can I get 20 saved? Go ahead.
And he said, oh, let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure 10 shall be found there.
Man, so we go from we started at what, 50? Now we at 10. Can 10 save the city? Go ahead.
And he said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake. And the Lord went his way, as soon as he had left communing with Abraham. And Abraham returned unto his place.
So if they find 10, they might save the city. We know it ain't happening, but you know, that's what they left on that note. It's at the end of the chapter.
It's in the chapter.
Okay, men stand. All right. Call it.
Call Shirah,
Call Shirah,
the Bar Yahweh,
the Bar Yahweh,
Nahashah,
Nahashah,
Wanashemah.
Wanashemah.
All that Yahweh said,
All that Yahweh said,
what we doing here.
what we doing here.
Okay. Next reader.
Registry.
Zanakarya, Ban Marakad, Ban Yahuda, Ban Yasharal,
Madium. Ra.
Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shabakatum,
Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabrakatah.
Right hands. Okay. So we in Genesis, the 19th chapter. Okay, now we're gonna talk about Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is Genesis chapter 19, verse 1. And there came 2 angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the earth ground.
So Abraham's son-in-law Lot saw these 2 angels approaching the gate of Sodom. So he runs to meet them and bows and proselytes before them to greet them. Go ahead.
And he said,
And it's also said that we had a lot more respect back then.
Right. We understood auras, and we understood when we were in the presence of angels. That speaks volumes right there.
Exactly.
To know that you this isn't an ordinary man that you're facing.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead.
and he said, behold, now my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and you shall rise up early and go on your ways. And they said, nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned unto him, and entered into the house, and he made them a feast.
So they was gonna stay out in the streets. Lot said, come on, let's go inside. Let's get out the streets, let's come inside. And he prepared a feast for them. All right, go ahead.
And
What verse
did,
you in?
verse
What?
verse 3.
Right.
And did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat.
So he made unleavened bread as well as other stuff to eat, and they ate. Go ahead.
But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round them both, old and young, all the people from every corner. And they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came into thee this night. Bring them out unto us, that we may know them.
We may know them.
I gotta look that up.
Okay.
That's the second time I came to that, man.
We may know them. Well, Sodom was full of faggots, okay? And they pressed upon Lot to send those two men out so they may know them, okay? That doesn't sound like hospitality. That sounds like wickedness and evil being spoken, okay? The main reason why those two angels came to Sodom, okay? And they would have tried to well, I'm speaking ahead of myself. All right, what verse you in?
Verse 5.
All right.
Oh no, verse 6.
All right.
Okay. Well, verse 5 was the you know them.
Uh-huh.
All right. In the Strong's, in the Hebrew 3045, Yada. All right, Yada. Root word is the translation is Yada.
Uh-huh.
Pronunciation Yada. All right. Translation: know, known, knowledge, perceive, shew, tell, whisk, understand, certainly, acknowledge, acquaintance, consider, declare, teach. Let me go to the outline of biblical usage. I'm gonna get to the fact of what we're talking about. Discriminate, distinguish, to know, learn to know. Those go a long way. Learn to know. Why would you want to learn to know anybody? So they must be talking about something, being in Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah, they want to know if they're of their persuasion.
Yeah.
That's what they want to know. That's what they want to know. Okay.
I mean, the Strong's won't always give you the exact meaning, but reading in context other scriptures and knowing these scriptures and being in the spirit, you also know what they're talking about, being in the place in that geological location of Sodom and Gomorrah, of homosexuals surrounding your house. All right.
Right.
And he said both. It says old and young, huh?
Yeah, old
Just like
and
today, you got old and young that are homosexuals,
right,
and lesbians and faggots.
right. Okay, continue. Verse 6.
And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold,
So Lot knew what their intentions were.
It answers you in the next precept.
Right. Next scripture, Lot knew what their intentions were. So Lot went outside, shut the door behind them, and said, look, don't even entertain those thoughts that you have about these men. Because these ain't ordinary men that we're discussing here. What verse you in? 7?
verse 8.
Okay, go ahead.
Behold, now I have 2 daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do no thing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof.
So he's willing to offer 2 of his daughters who are virgins to these wicked men of Sodom to do with it as they see fit. But they don't want the daughters. That already lets you know where their heart and the debauchery has lowered themselves to. Okay, they want the men. Evil and wickedness and perversion. Okay, which is modern day America. Evil, wickedness, and perversion on a high level. Okay, when you got men dressing like women reading children's stories to children in the public library.
That is nasty.
Right. I mean,
Like it's okay. It's okay.
well, that's the subliminal programming that's being pushed. That this is normal. That this is okay. And children that are impressionable and have not solidified their gender orientation yet, they are easily persuaded to go along with this because mommy didn't say it was wrong, daddy didn't say it was wrong, the teacher didn't say it was wrong, and it is reading a funny children's story to me, so they don't see it as a threat. Okay, And that's psychology. That's wickedness. Go ahead. Where you at?
Verse 9.
Okay.
And they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break.
So now they're like, nah, we're gonna break the door down and do whatever it is that we want to do. Okay. Home invasion.
Yeah.
Okay. They about to home invade. All right, go ahead.
But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them and shut to the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door.
So two men, the two angels, pulled Lot inside the door, shut the door, and then they hit him with the whammy so that they blinded them.
So they was all blind. They couldn't even find the damn door.
Right. So they could have just smoked them, killed them right then and there. You know, but
They wanted to wait.
In a matter of seconds.
right. But they had to heighten what the judgment was going to be.
Yeah.
I think
something else. They couldn't do something
Right,
else.
right.
Judgment.
right. You know, if the Most High allowed them to kill them, then we would have been reading that they killed those men in front of the door.
Yeah.
The fact that the Most High said, okay, save the Most High is about suspense. He's about that ending. Like when you watch a good movie, you know the ending's got to be better than the beginning. You know that climax. You know, like oh man, the cherry on the cake. That's what the Most High is. So he said, nah, just blind them, because I got something better for them. I got something better for them. Go ahead.
And the men said unto Lot, hast thou here any besides son-in-law, and thy sons, and thy daughters? And whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place, for we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Lord.
So
And the
the
Lord
evil and wickedness of Sodom and Gomorrah is up to the Most High's throne. Okay, he hears this wickedness, he sees this wickedness, and he's sick and tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same feeling that he's building up towards America.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead. We'll call you verse.
Come. Verse 14. And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, get ye out of this place, for the Lord will destroy the city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law.
Say that again. He sees.
They didn't take him seriously. He seemed as one that mocked.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
so they didn't take what Lot was telling them serious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
They should have, but they didn't.
They don't take him seriously as a man, and that's how young men and women are these days when we on these highways and byways. They seem as we just mocking or we're not serious.
Right. Well, or the word is serious.
Yeah, like we Christians out there.
Go ahead.
These churches. So they didn't take anything serious.
And when the morning arose, when the angels hastened Lot, saying, arise, take thy wife and thy two daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his two daughters, and the Lord being merciful unto him. And they brought him forth to set him without the city. And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, escape for thy life, look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain, escape to the mountain,
So
lest
he
thou be
told
consumed.
them, don't look behind you. Okay. Lest you be consumed with the destruction that's coming upon Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay. What verse you in?
Verse 17.
All
No,
right, good.
verse 18. And Lot said unto them, oh, not so, my Lord. Behold, now thy servant has found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast shewed unto me in saving my life, and I cannot escape. And I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil to me, and I die. Behold, now this city is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. Oh, let me escape thither. It is not a little one, and my soul shall live. And he said unto him, See, I have accepted thee concerning this thing, that I will not overthrow the city for thee, which thou hast spoken.
So he's giving him time to escape, get his family out before that destruction come upon Sodom and Gomorrah. Go ahead.
Hast thee escaped neither thither? For I cannot do anything till thou be come thither. Therefore the name of the city was called Zoar. The sun was risen upon the earth, and Lot entered into Zoar. Then the Lord reigned upon Sodom
So
and
he let him
Gomorrah.
get into a city, okay, which is called Zoar, and then he rained spiritual fire from heaven upon Sodom and Gomorrah, okay, which still stands today in ruin. All right, and when the archaeologists went to dig up Sodom and Gomorrah, they their Geiger counters recorded radioactive readings. Okay, so this was a nuclear fire that the Most High rained down on Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, well, that same nuclear fire is going to rain down on America by the Syrian nuclear missiles, which shall be shot over on America by Russia, by China, by Pakistan, by North Korea. Whoever has a nuclear missile is going to shoot it over on America. Whoever has one. Okay, go ahead.
Indeed, he overthrew those cities, all the plain, and all the inhabitants of the cities, that which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt.
His wife looked back. Commandment was to keep it moving and look forward. Don't look back. Okay, but she looked back. Why? I don't know. Maybe all that she thought she had in Sodom and Gomorrah was too great for her to leave. You know, I don't know whatever that was, but whatever it was, it caused her to look back. And the evidence is that her pillar of salt still stands today. What was his wife's name? You know?
No.
Okay. Quick look if you can. But the pillar of salt still stands today. Okay, you can actually go see the pillar of salt. So is the word of the Most High true? Yes, it is. Does he do what he says he's going to do according to the Bible? Yes, he does. So if he says he's going to bring judgment upon America, you best believe judgment is coming upon America. If you want to escape that judgment, you got to get in order with the scriptures. Moral, civil, dietary, and ceremonial commandments found in the Torah, and the wisdom and the understanding of Yahushua found in the so-called New Testament. Royal basics: repentance, obedience, Yahweh, Yahushua, Yasha'Allah, and the understanding and preparing for these last days. Okay, where you at?
Verse 27.
Okay, go ahead.
And Abraham get up early in the morning in the place where he stood before the Lord. And he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah and toward all the land of the plain, and beheld, and lo, the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace.
So, like the smoke of a furnace, that was the smoke of Sodom and Gomorrah going up into the heavens. Burnt with fire, down to the ground, with none left. No buildings, okay? Definitely no people, okay? Burnt to a crisp. Just like in the book of Zechariah, it talks about that their eyes shall consume away in their sockets, okay? Dissolve. Okay, prime example, I think one of the better examples is when you look at Terminator 2, when the woman is having a vision, sleeping, and she sees the city of Los Angeles being destroyed by thermonuclear destruction, and herself being consumed by that radiation, by that heat.
She's holding on to a gate, and the skin and everything is melting.
Just dissolve into sand. Okay, from earth you come, by earth you go back. Okay, go ahead.
And Lot went up out of Zoar and dwelt in the mountain, and his two daughters with him, for he feared to dwell in Zoar. He dwelt in a cave, and his 2 daughters. And the firstborn said unto the younger, Our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come unto us after the manner of all the earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night, and firstborn went in and lay with her father, and he perceived not, and when she lay down, nor when she rose.
So they got him drunk. Well, we got to understand the context of what's happening here. They just witnessed a horrific destruction of a city of a magnitude that they never saw before in their life. You know, so understandably, you know, they felt like there was no more civilization left.
Exactly.
You know, after seeing that type of destruction.
And these were the daughters that had husbands, right?
No,
Yeah, but
The husbands stayed back.
well,
no, they were
nah.
virgins, remember?
Yeah, they were virgins. These two were virgins.
Oh, okay.
These two were virgins.
That Lot was going to give them to the men that was at the door.
These were the two virgins.
Right.
Okay. So the oldest said to the younger, like, look, there's nobody left. Okay, we got to do this to preserve our father's name.
They ran into the mountains.
Yeah, because well, the city that he got to, Zoar, he wasn't too comfortable staying there. So I mean, we got to understand the trauma and what they witnessed. Okay, the ground shook
to make them even think about doing that.
Right. We got to understand the context of what was happening, and ultimately, I always say this: by divine intervention, this is what the Most High wanted to happen. Okay. In other words, He allowed them to conjure those thoughts and let this happen. Okay. Otherwise, He would intervene spiritually and just said, "Nah, I got XXX. I got things lined up. You ain't got to go this route." Okay. But the first said to the youngest, "We got to do this." So the first got him intoxicated with wine and laid down with him that he knew not. He didn't know when she laid down with him and didn't know when she arose. All right, so he was in a deep comatose sleep. Continue. What verse you in? 31, something like that?
No, verse 33. No, verse 34.
All right.
And it came to pass on the morrow that the firstborn said unto the younger, Behold, I lay yesternight with my father. Let us make him drink wine this night also, and go thou in thy lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine at night also, and the younger arose and lay with him, and perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father. And the firstborn bare a son, and called his name Moab. And the same is the father of the Moabites unto this day. And the younger she also bare a son, and called his name
Ammon.
And the same is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day.
Now, who are the Moabites and who are the Ammonites today? The Moabites are the so-called Chinese and the
Ammonites and Japanese.
So-called Japanese. But what we have to understand, okay, these were dark-skinned, complected people that had
from the beginning.
From the beginning, they were dark-skinned, but the thing that they had, because they slept with their father, they had incest, which is they had mongoloid faces. Okay, this is where their eyes are the way
bastards.
Cut. Okay, so this is why their eyes are the way they are. They had mongoloidism. Okay, that Mongol look upon their face. Okay, now who are these people today? If we had to give a geographical location where you could find real Moab and real Ammon, it would be like in Tibet, it would be like in different islands of the Indonesian islands, because Indonesia is mixed up between Moab and you got the Hawaiians over there. The sons of Japhet are over mingled up in there. So that's where you have different features. Okay, Thailand especially, you have a lot of Moabites in there, a lot of Ammon mixed up in those countries. Where you have dark-skinned Chinese or Japanese-looking people, those are the original Moab and Ammon people. What you have over in Japan and China now are descendants of Genghis Khan. Okay.
Edomite, right?
Yeah, Edomite. All right, go ahead. That was it? Khan?
Oh.
All right. All right. Let's scan.
Information about Genghis Khan.
I got it.
All right, we'll see.
Kashara,
Call Shara.
The
Try it
body-
again. Try it again. You ready? All right, go.
Kashara,
Call Shara,
the Bar Yahweh,
the Bar Yahweh,
Naisha,
Naisha,
Wena Shema.
Wena Shema.
All that Yahweh said,
All that Yahweh said,
what we doing here?
what we doing here?
Khan. Okay. That was Genesis 19. We read about the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, and we also read about the origins of Moab and Ammon, which are the so-called Chinese and Japanese today. Okay, next reader. You want to read? Yeah, you can read. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Genesis, Genesis, the 20th chapter. Go.
Hashab Yogabar, Ban Moro, Ban Yahawda, Ban Yasharala.
Maniam. Rock. Right.
Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Brakatah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabbat.
Make a fist. Okay. Genesis, the 20th chapter. Abraham and Sarah at Gerar. All right. Go ahead.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 20 and verse 1. And Abraham journeyed from thence toward the south country, and dwelt between Kadesh and Shur, and sojourned in Gerar. And Abraham said of Sarah, his wife, she is my sister. And Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. But God came to Abimelech in a dream by night, and said unto him, Behold, thou art but a dead man.
No. So once again, Abraham, using his safety measure, told Sarah, telling that you my sister. Okay. And immediately they took her. Okay. Now the king is getting a vision from the Most High saying, surely you're a dead man if you touch this woman.
And they always been after our women since day one, man, because they were so beautiful. You know, nobody cared about those Ammonites and Moabite women, or, you know, Amalek women, you know, Egyptian women, Canaanite women. Not really like that.
All right. What verse you in?
Verse 3. Behold, thou art a dead man for the woman which thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife. But Abimelech had not come near her. He said, Lord, wilt thou slay also a righteous nation? Said he not unto me, she is my sister. And she, even she herself said, he is my brother. And the integrity of my heart and the innocency of my hands have I done this. And God said unto him in a dream, Yeah, I know that thou didst this in the integrity of thine heart. For I also withheld thee from sinning against me. Therefore suffered I thee not to touch her. Now therefore restore the man his wife, for he is a prophet, and he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live. And if thou restore her not, now thou shalt surely die.
So the king basically told the Most High that, you know, in my integrity, I thought that truly that was his sister, and she said that that he was my brother. So on that saying alone, Yahweh spared him and also gave him the spirit not to go in unto the woman. Okay, because he went in on the strength that this is what was told to him. Yeah. So the Most High said, okay, now I'm not even gonna let you go, you know, commit that sin because you didn't know the truth. Basically, he didn't know the truth. It'd been a different story if he knew the truth and he took the man's wife, but he didn't.
Come.
All right, so go ahead. What verse you in?
Verse 8. Therefore Abimelech rose early in the morning and called all his servants and told all these things in their ears. And the men were sore afraid. Then Abimelech called Abraham and said unto him, What hast thou done unto us? And what have I offended thee, that thou hast brought on me, and on my kingdom a great sin?
So he telling the king is telling Abraham, man, why you bring this great sin upon me based on your lie that you told me, okay, which was revealed to me by the Creator, the Most High. All right, so go ahead.
Thou hast done deeds unto me that ought not to be done. And Abimelech said unto Abraham, what sawest thou that thou hast done this thing? And Abraham said, because I thought, surely the fear of God is not in this place, and they will slay me for my wife's sake. And yet indeed she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. And it came to pass, when God caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said unto her, this is thy kindness, which thou shalt show unto me. At every place whither we shall come, say of me, he is my brother. And Abimelech took sheep and oxen, and men servants and women servants, and gave them unto Abraham, and restored him Sarah his wife. And Abimelech said, behold, my land is before thee, the well where it pleaseth thee. And unto Sarah he said, behold, I have given thy brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Behold, he is to thee a covering of odds unto all that are with thee, and all with Salah, and with all other. Thus she was reproved. So Abraham prayed unto God, and God healed Abimelech and his wife, and his maidservants, and they bare children. For the Lord had fast closed up the wombs of the house of Abimelech, because Sarah, Abraham's wife.
So because Abraham's wife was in his house, he caused his house not to be able to have children. Once he gave back Sarah to Abraham and restored whatever he took from him, and then some, gave him 1,000 pieces of silver, that's when Abraham prayed to the Most High, and then Abimelech was restored in himself, as well as his servants and his wives. All right, go ahead.
That was in his chapter.
All right, and in what, 20?
20.
And a 20, okay. All right, Stan.
And she was an old woman too. Still an old woman. She must have been beautiful.
All right, go ahead.
Call Shara, the Bar Yahweh, Naisha, Wanashama. All that Yahweh said, what we doing here?
Okay, so that was Genesis, the 20th chapter. We read about Abraham and Sarah at Gerar, and how, we're about to read. Well, we read that, but now we're about to read about the birth of Isaac. Okay, next reader.
Zanachariah, Ban Maraka, Ban Yahweh, Ban Yashral,
Madian, Farah,
Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shabrakatam,
okay. You're in Genesis 21. Okay, go ahead.
Genesis chapter 21, verse 1. And the Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did unto Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age, at the set time of which God had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son, what that was born unto him, whom Sarah bare to him, Isaac.
Okay. So she bare the son for Abraham and called his name Isaac. Go ahead.
And Abraham circumcised his son Isaac, being 8 days old, as God had commanded him. And Abraham was 100 years old, and his son Isaac was born unto him. And Sarah said, God hath made me to laugh, so that all that hear will laugh with me. And she said, who would have said unto Abraham that Sarah should have given children suck? For I have borne him a son in his old age. The child grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast, the same day that Isaac was weaned. What does that mean, weaned?
Taking off breast milk.
And Sarah saw the son of Hagar the Egyptian, which she had born unto Isaac, Abraham mocking.
So Ishmael was mocking Isaac. Okay. Go ahead.
Wherefore she said unto Abraham, cast out his bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be here with my son, even with Isaac. And the thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight because of his son.
So Abraham was grievous, meaning upset about the request that Sarah made unto him to send out Hagar and Ishmael out of the camp. Okay, basically out in the wilderness. Okay, go ahead.
And also of the son of the bondwoman will I make a nation, because he is thy seed.
So this is what the Most High told Abraham while he was grieving. The Most High said, look, I'm going to make Ishmael a great nation. Okay, so don't worry about him. All right, he is your seed, so I'm obligated to bless him also. This is why the Arabs were blessed. All right, go ahead.
And Abraham rose up early in the morning and took bread and a bottle to Hagar, putting it on her shoulder, and the child, and sent her away. And she departed and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba.
Go ahead.
And the water was spent in the bottle, and she cast the child under one of the sherbs. And she went and sat her down over against him a good way off, as it were a bow shoot. For she said, let me not see the death of the child. And she sat against him and lifted up her voice and wept.
So once the water was going and the bread was going, she didn't know what to do. Really didn't know where she was going either. She was out in this wilderness. So she set the child off from where she was sitting at so she could weep unto the Most High and not see the child die if he's going to die from thirst or hunger. All right, go ahead.
And God heard the voice of the lad. And the angel of God called to Hagar out of heaven and said unto her, what allieth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for God hath heard the voice of the lad where he is. Arise, lift up the lad, and hold him in thine hand, for I will make him a great nation. And God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. She went and filled the bottle with water and gave the lad drink. And God was with the lad, and he grew and dwelt in the wilderness and became an archer. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Haran. And his mother took him a wife of the land of Egypt. And it came to pass at that time that Abimelech and Pekah and the chief captain of his host spake unto Abraham, saying, God is with thee in all that thou doest. Now therefore swear unto me here by God, thou wilt not deal falsely with me, nor with my son, nor with my son's son, but according to the kindness that I have done unto thee, thou shalt do unto me, into the land wherein thou hast sojourned. And Abraham said, I will swear. And Abraham
So now we see a covenant between Abraham and Abimelech being made. Okay. Prior to that, we see the Most High coming to Hagar and showing her that he's going to be with them, or the child Ishmael, and make him a great archer, and he's going to become a great nation. And then at the instant, she showed the Most High showed her through the angel a place of well where she could gather water. Okay, so Ishmael was under the protection of the Most High. Okay, as well as Hagar, his mother. And now we're reading about the covenant between Abraham and Abimelech, and how Abraham was not going to destroy his family or his seed, and they made a covenant between themselves. Continue.
And Abimelech said, I will not.
What verse you on?
Verse 26. And Abimelech said, I will not. Who hath done this thing? Neither didst thou tell me, neither yet heard I of it, but today. And Abraham took sheep and oxen and gave them unto Abimelech, and both of them made a covenant. And Abraham set 7 ewe lambs of the flock by themselves. And Abimelech said unto Abraham, what mean these 7 ewe lambs, which thou hast set by themselves? And he said, for these 7 ewe lambs shalt thou take of my hand, that they may be a witness unto me that I have digged this. Wherefore he called that place Beersheba, because there they swear both of them. Thus they made a covenant at Beersheba. Then Abimelech rose up and Phicol and the chief captain of his host, and they returned into the land of the Philistines. And Abraham planted a grove in Beersheba, and called thereon the name of the Lord, the everlasting God. And Abraham sojourned in the Philistine land many days.
So, after they made the covenant, so you have 2 armies coming together to make a covenant of peace and blessings for each other and for protection for each other. And now Abimelech goes back into the land of the Philistines, where he dwells at with his army. Okay, his host. Okay, the captain of his host, the captain of his army. Okay, so he had men, he had soldiers. Abraham had men and soldiers. All right. So what was that? Genesis 21. All right. Go ahead.
Kashara,
Kashara.
Debar Yahweh,
Debar Yahweh,
Na'isha,
Na'isha,
Wenah Shema.
Wenah Shema.
All that Yahweh said.
All that Yahweh said,
What we doing here?
what we doing here.
Okay, so that was Genesis 21. Now we're in our last chapter, Genesis 22. We're gonna go to verse 24. Okay, registry.
Hashab Gabar, Ban Moral, Ban Yahawada, Ban Yasharala.
Amadium. Barak.
Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Brakatah.
Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabrakatah.
Okay, Genesis 2. We're gonna read the verse 24. How many verses in there?
24.
Oh, okay, come on. We're gonna close out.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 22, and verse 1. And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham. And he said, behold, here I am. And he said, take now thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him therefore a burnt offering upon of the mountains which I will tell thee of. And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and led his ass, and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up, and went unto the place of which God had told him.
So he got a vision to go make this burnt offering and take his son Isaac with him. So he took Isaac as well as 2 servants and made this trek to where the Most High told him to go to. Go ahead.
Verse 4. Then on the 3rd day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men, abide you here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering, and laid it upon Isaac his son, and he took the fire in his hand, and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said, my father. And he said, here I am, I my son. And he said, behold the fire and wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? And Abraham said, my son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. And they came to the place which God had told him of. And Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood.
So he takes his son Isaac and bounds him to the altar that he made unto the Most High along with the wood. Okay, so
He's gonna sacrifice his own son.
he was told to by the Most High. The Most High was testing his obedience. Would he do it? Okay, would he do it? All right, go ahead.
Verse 10. And Abraham stretched forth his hand, and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of the Lord called unto Abraham, Salah, called unto him out of heaven, and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thine hand upon thy lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest God, seeing thou hast withheld thy son, thine only son, from me.
So the test was, are you willing to sacrifice your son unto me, to show your allegiance to me, first and foremost? When he saw that he had the intention of actually sacrificing Isaac, he stepped in and stopped him and said, okay, you passed the test. All right, he held his hand, okay, but he had to see that his hand was willing to rise to slay his son. All right, go ahead.
Verse 13. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram, and offered him up for a burnt offering, in the stead of his son.
So the Most High provided the sacrifice. There was a lamb caught up by his horns in the bushes. A ram. Go ahead.
I got
He said,
the ram that was caught in the thicket. Keep reading.
All right, what verse you in?
Verse 14.
All right.
And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Ireh, as it is said to this day, in the mount of the Lord it shall be seen. And the angel of the Lord called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time, and said, By myself have I sworn, said the Lord, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven.
So seeing that you were willing to sacrifice your son, I'm going to multiply your seed like the stars in heaven. That's how we became the father of many nations. Go ahead.
Con. And as the sand which is upon the seashore, and thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies.
This is from Our Living Bible, and this is
You're going to have to get close. Please.
this is the ram that was caught in the thicket.
All right.
It was caught in the branches.
Well, the depiction of the ram
Yeah.
that was caught in the thicket.
Yeah, is this a depiction of the ram that was caught in the thicket? Right there.
That's a ram.
And Our Living Bible.
All right. What verse you in?
Verse 18. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. So Abraham returned unto his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. And it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham, saying, Behold, Milcah, she hath also borne children unto my brother Nahor, Whuz his firstborn, and Buz his brother, and Camil the father of Aram, and Kasad, and Hazor, and Podash, and Jelaph, and Bethuel. And Bethuel begot Rebekah. These 8 Milcah did bear to Nahor, Abraham's brother. And his concubine, whose name was Ramah, she bare also Tabah, and Gaham, and Tahash, and Makah.
Con. So we're reading about the children of Nahor and their names. And the main point is Abraham's willingness to follow the commandment of the Most High, to offer up the sacrifice of his own son, Isaac. Okay.
I just want to show y'all something from the Strong's in the Hebrew 884. Beersheba is the well of the sevenfold oath. All right, that's what the name is. It's seen in the south edge of Israel.
Okay. So let's close out Genesis, the 22nd chapter, and then we'll go to the half Torah portion, which is in 2 Kings, the 4th chapter, verses 1 through 37. Okay. Call it.
Debar Yahweh.
The bar
No.
No.
Kal Asherah.
Kal Asherah.
Debar Yahweh.
Debar Yahweh.
Naashah.
Naashah.
Wanashemah.
Wanashemah.
All that Yahweh said.
All that Yahweh said.
What we doing here?
What we doing here?
Okay. Next reader. Well, the half Torah portion, you don't have to do your registry for that. Okay, so next reader. 2 Kings, the 4th chapter, verses 1 to 37.
I'll read it.
Okay. Malachi will read. Okay.
Except for Kings.
Yeah. Did I say First Kings on this?
He said 2 Kings. All right, so.
What was the paper say?
Second Kings 4:1.
Okay, 2 Kings, the 4th chapter. 1 to 37. What?
Don't put a foot in your anus, son. Ooh, stop it. This says 2 Kings 4:1. I mean chapter 4, verse 1. Okay, we're gonna read all of it.
No, I'll just send to verse 37.
Go ahead.
Start.
Yeah,
All right, I'll go ahead. This is the book of 2 Kings, chapter 4, and verse 1. Hold on. Chapter 4 and verse 1. Now there cried a certain woman of the wives of the sons of the prophets unto Elijah, saying, Thy servant, my husband, is dead, and thou knowest that the servant did fear the Lord, and the creditor is come to take unto him my 2 sons to be bondmen. So right now, so a creditor is coming after him to take them away. All right, but these were men of the Most High. And Elijah said unto her, What shall I do for thee? Tell me, what hast thou in thine house? And she said, Thine handmaid hath not anything in the house save a pot of oil. So he's asking, what do you have in your house now? He want them to give him something. All right. Then he said, Go, borrow thee vessels abroad of all thy neighbors, even empty vessels borrow not a few. And that's how it is nowadays, man. It's the vexation. You know, if you don't got nothing to give, you better go borrow something. You know. Verse 4. And when thou art come in, thou shalt shut the door upon thee and upon thy sons, and shalt pour out into those vessels, and thou shalt set aside that which is full. So she went from him, and shut the door upon her and upon her sons, and brought the vessels to her, and she poured out. And it came to pass, when the vessels were full, that she said unto her son, Bring me yet a vessel. And he said unto her, There is not a vessel more. And the oil stayed. Then she came and told the man of God, and he said, Go, sell the oil, and pay thy debt, and live thou and thy children of the rest. Salah. And he said, Go, sell the oil, and pay thy debt, and live thou and thy children of the rest. And it fell on the day that Elijah passed in Shunem, where was a great woman, and she constrained him to eat bread. And so it was that as oft as it passed by, he turned and fed a slot. He turned in thither and to eat bread. And she said unto her husband.
All right, hold up. So, Elijah basically multiplied the oil for the widow, so she was able to have oil to sell to pay the debt. He increased the oil, okay, through the power of the Most High, because she was a righteous woman. It just so happened that her husband passed and they still had a debt. As we were coming to take her sons and bring them into bondage to pay the debt, sell them into bondage. That's how it works. So if you didn't pay your debt, you could be a bondman, a bondwoman, or whatever of age child that you had could be taken from you from those that you owed. Okay, so we're into another portion of Elijah's war.
Well, that's something like today when, you know, your parents die, the debt's passed on to you.
Yeah.
You know, the same thing.
Kind of. Okay. What verse you in?
Verse 9. And she said unto her husband, Behold now, I perceive that this is an holy man of God, which passeth by us continually. Let us make a little chamber, I pray thee, on the wall, and let us set for him there a bed, and a table, and a stool, and a candlestick. And it shall be when he cometh to us that he shall turn in thither.
So they made a little quarter of their space for him to sleep and have a table and a chair to sit at. So when he passed through wherever he was going to, he had a place to rest.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
And
So Airbnb.
Hey, don't let the other neighbors call on him. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Go ahead.
And it fell and it fell on a day that he came thither, and he turned into the chamber and lay there. And he said unto Gehazi, his servant, Call this Shunammite. And when he called her, she stood before him, and he said unto him, Say now unto her, Behold, thou hast been careful for us with all this care. What is to be done for me? Wouldst thou be spoken for to the king, or to the captain of the host? And she answered, I dwell among my own people. And he said, What then is this to be done for her? And Gehazi answered, Verily she hath no child, and her husband is old. And he said, Call her. And when he had called her, she stood in the door. And he said, About this season, according to the time of life, thou shalt embrace a son. And she said, Nay, my Lord, thou man of God, do not lie unto thine handmaid.
So once again, the Most High told her that she's gonna have a son, and she was in disbelief, being that she was of old age also. Okay, go ahead.
Those that dwell in the court of the Lord will flourish even in their old age.
Come. A second story to reiterate that passage in Psalms 92. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 17. And the woman conceived and bare a son at that season. That Elijah, he said unto her, According to thy time of life. And when the child was grown, it fell on a day that he went out to his father, to the reapers. And he said unto his father, My head, my head. And he said to a lad, Carry him to his mother. And when he had taken him and brought him to his mother, he sat on her knees till noon, and then died.
So the son that was born died, okay, on her mother's on his mother's lap. Okay, go ahead.
And she went up and laid him on a bed of the man of God.
So she took the son and put him on Elijah's bed. Okay, go ahead.
and shut the door upon him, and went out. And she called unto her husband, and said, Send me, I pray thee, one of the young men, and one of the asses, I ruin to the man of God, so that I may run to the man of God, and come again. And he said, Wherefore wilt thou go to him today? It is neither new moon nor Sabbath. And she said, It shall be well.
So it's neither the new moon or the Shabbat. Where you gonna find the man of God? That's what she's asking. She said, well, hey, I'm gonna find him. I'm gonna find him. Okay, so she set out on her journey.
And her son did, so she about to find him.
Oh yeah,
She gonna find this man.
Right. High and low. Search high and low. Go ahead.
Then she saddled an ass and said to her servant, Drive and go forward. Slack not thy riding from me, except I bid thee.
So keep press hard, ride hard, and keep riding unless I tell you to slow down or stop. Go ahead.
Verse 25. So she went and came unto the men of God to Mount Carmel.
So she found him at Mount Carmel. Go ahead.
And it came to pass when the men of God saw her far off, that he said to Gehazi, his servant, Behold, yonder is that Shunammite.
Go ahead.
Verse 26, Run now, I pray thee, to meet her, and say unto her, Is it well with thee? Is it well with thy husband? Is it child? And she answered, It is well. And when she came to the man of God to the hill, she caught him by the feet. But Gehazi came near to thrust her away. And the man of God said, Let her alone, for her soul is vexed within her. And the Lord hath hid it from me, and hath not told me.
So his servant's gonna push her away and tell her to keep moving, but he perceived that there was something wrong in her soul, and the fact that the Most High didn't reveal to him what the problem was. So now he gonna find out what's going on. Oh, real quick, see if there was a question. Somebody thought I saw something flashing on the screen. No. You good? Okay, Khan. All right, go ahead. Call your verse.
Verse 28.
All right.
Then she said, Did I desire a son of my Lord? Did I not say, Do not deceive me? Then he said to Gehazi, Gird up thy loins, and take my staff in thy hand, and go thy way. If thou meet any man, salute him not. And if any salute thee, answer him not again, and lay my staff upon the face of the child. And the mother of the child said, As the Lord liveth, and as the soul liveth, I will not leave you. And he arose and followed her.
So now she got these instructions to take the staff of Elijah to lay upon this, the face of her son. Go ahead.
Verse 31. And Gehazi passed on before them, and laid the staff upon the face of the child.
So it was his servant, go ahead, Gehazi, all right, that took the staff and laid it upon her son's face. Go ahead.
But there was neither voice nor hearing. Wherefore he went again to meet him, and told him, saying, The child is not awakened. And when Elijah was come into the house, behold, the child was dead and laid upon his bed. He went in therefore, and shut the door upon them twain, and prayed unto the Lord. And he went up, and lay upon the child, and put his mouth upon his mouth, and his eyes upon his eyes, and his hands upon his hands. And he stretched himself upon the child, and the flesh of the child waxed warm. Then he returned and walked in the house. Then he returned and walked in the house to and fro, and went up, and stretched himself upon him. And the child neached 7 times, and the child opened his eyes. Least, was that sneeze?
Yeah.
Verse 36. And he called Gehazi and said, call this Shemanite. So he called her, and when she was come in unto him, he said, take up thy son. Then she went in and fell at his feet and bowed herself to the ground and took up her son and went out. And Elijah came again to Gilgal. And
Is that what verse?
38.
No, that's it.
Okay.
So basically, Elijah had to basically lie upon the child, hand, eyes to mouth and everything. Well, you can say that, but basically his breath, which was blessed by the Most High, put the spirit back into the child. Okay. I mean, that's how the Most High wanted it done. He couldn't have done it any other way, but this is the way that he chose for this instance. All right. So that is the half Torah portion. You know, we're gonna go to the Brit Kadash, which is Luke the 17th chapter, verse 28 to 37. Luke the 17th chapter, verse 28 to 37. Luke the 17th chapter.
Luke 17
Uh-huh.
verses what?
28 through 37. I think I can take it. Okay. It says, likewise also, as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, and they built. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. So this is the same as in the days of Noah. They were eating and drinking. They were planning.
They being married.
They were given into marriage. Okay, they would carry on like nothing was, like everything was normal. But then what happened? The flood came, the rain that they never saw before, and then the whole earth was flooded. Okay, but as in the days of Lot, okay, what were they doing?
Homosexuality.
Right, homosexuality, bestiality, perversion, wickedness. But they were building, they were planning. Okay, they were given into reveling, partying. Okay, just like they doing now. Okay, but then what came? Fire and brimstone. Well, that's what's coming to America. Fire and brimstone in the form of ICBM nuclear missiles. Okay, this is the prophecy that the Most High America, which is spiritually known as Sodom, which is spiritually known as Egypt when you read in the book of Revelation, the 11th chapter and the 8th verse. Okay, so we're reading the words of Yahushua, reiterating what happened during the time of Lot, which is relevant to the days that we're living in now here in America. Okay, so this is a warning. Okay, so verse 29. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. Now, who's the Son of Man? Yahushua HaMashiach. That's right. That same day, this same event is going to happen again. Okay, which is here in America and different parts of the world. All the world will not be destroyed. The Most High has not given the white man that type of power. The only thing that's going to be destroyed is his kingdom, which is what? America and different parts of the world. Wherever the nuclear missiles are going to hit, you're going to have destruction in that part of the world, but it's not going to destroy the whole earth. The only thing that will be destroyed is America, and will be left after smoking. It will be left as a smoking memorial. The smoke will continually go up into the clouds of heaven. All right. So when you fly around this place, you will remember the destruction of America. Okay, to remind us of our captivity, that we'll never forget the hell and oppression that we went through here in America. Okay. All right, huh?
No, I said, Kai, that's gonna be something right there. You'll be able to, Lord willing, you'll the elect or the 1/3, you'll be able to tell your children, hey man, hey, that smoke right there, you'll always remember that smoke, that's America, K. You'll be able to tell them all that, man, hey, you see them suckers right there? We got locked in them cages, they was ruling over there. It was ruling over us because of what we done. You'll be able to tell them this story, and they'll be sitting there like,
spellbound. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. All right. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. In that day, he which shall be upon the housetop and his stuff in the house, let him not come down to take it away. And he that is in the field, let him likewise not return back. Okay. So in other words, you're going to take what you got on you or can carry. Everything else isn't coming. Won't be able to come. Won't be able to carry it. All right. And that's kind of a sobering note to not get so caught up into the materialism of what America promotes on a daily basis through the advertisement, through the commercials, through the different sales, buy, constantly consuming, never having enough. Consuming because whatever you buy basically wears out and you got to buy more. So it's a constant, it's a vicious cycle. All right.
So worry about that worldly possessions.
Right. But then the very next verse 32, it says, remember Lot. She worried about her worldly possessions. It got turned into a pillar of salt. Okay. Verse 33. Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it, and whosoever shall lose his life shall preserve it.
That's right.
Lose your life for what? Yahweh Shai Mashiach and the truth. You shall preserve your life because the angels will remember and protect you in the days to come. We need protection because we don't have nothing. That's the sobering note. We don't have nothing. Okay, we don't have nothing. Nada.
And that also speaks on why Lot's wife turned into that pillar of salt when he says, remember Lot's wife. But in 31, he's saying those who are on the top of the house don't try to come down and get your stuff. She was remembering all the stuff that was back in Sodom. That's just what she was doing. She was thinking of all the stuff that she missed and all the stuff that she wanted to take with her. None of that stuff profits. It profits you nothing to want those things. So when the stuff,
right, good.
So when the stuff goes down, don't even worry about it because you can't take it with you.
Right, you can't take it with you. The flat screens, none of it. All right. So I mean that's gonna be. I mean, hey, I'm gonna say something that really gonna shake them. Cell phones ain't coming.
Hey, I got precepts on my phone.
I got a Bible app on my phone. Can it come? If it don't work, why take it? It ain't gonna work. EPMP, electronic magnetic pulse. Anything that's on or connected to any type of electrical system is gonna be shut down. Okay, Russia has that weapon, America has that weapon, China has that weapon. Okay. I mean, look, nothing from this kingdom is coming into the new kingdom. Nothing. So if you can't, fathom that, or you can't live without that, hey, I don't know what to tell you. You're gonna have a harder learning curve to live without these things in America. Okay, because you're gonna be worrying about what? Food, clothing, and shelter, and your life. Because people are coming to seek to take your life with all due prejudice. That means
with the American flag on their truck, they driving around.
Oh,
American flags on their truck. Hey,
hunting. First
bird. They gonna have like 10 white boys in the back of their truck,
all armed. Okay, hunting. Okay, and you gonna be the target. First purge, man. Real. I mean, it can't get no real in that. I guess what has to get real is your action. What are you doing? Okay, can't be couch potato no more. You're gonna have to get off the couch, get in the game.
Can't be exercise profit little.
Right.
Can't be exercise profit little. Can't be none of that no more.
Well, they take that out of context, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah. You know, they take that way out of context.
Right.
You're gonna get knocked out. That's what that's gonna happen.
Right.
Hey,
Taking out of shoes and socks.
exactly.
Huh? One. Never mind the 2-piece. You're gonna get 1 piece. All right, but let's finish up. Verse 34. I tell you that night there shall be 2 men in one bed. The one shall be taken, and the other shall be left. Verse 35. 2 women shall be grinding together. One shall be taken, and the other left. 2 men shall be in the field. One shall be taken, and the other left. And they answered unto him, Where, Lord? Where, Yahushua? And he said unto them, Wheresoever the body is, thither will the eagles be gathered together. Eagles for what? To eat the prey, eat the body. Okay? Those being taken are being taken to judgment. Okay? It's not talking about the rapture like the churches like to teach. It's not the rapture. I'm not saying there's not going to be a rapture, but it's not going to be a rapture like you think it is. It's not going to be a rapture where you're going to think that you're going to be just sitting down in your house watching TV and then you're just going to be called up into heaven. Oh, Lord. No, it ain't going to be that way, man. You're going to be out here sticking and moving and running for your life. Run, Forrest, run.
So you're gonna have those that are just gonna be staying here, you're gonna have those that are gonna be going there for judgment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the ones left are going to be gathered to come with the Mosai and Yahushua HaMashiach. The ones taken will be taking the judgment. Okay? You don't want to be taking the judgment. Okay? You don't want to be taken there because it ain't going to be nothing nice. All right? So, that was verse 37. Okay? That was the Brit Kadash. Luke 17, verse 28 to verse 37. Okay, this week's Torah portion, once again, we read from Genesis 18, verse 1 to Genesis 22, verse 24. The half Torah portion was in 2 Kings 4, verses 1 to 37. And the Brit Kadash, which I just finished reading, was in Luke, the 17th chapter, verses 28 to verse 37. So let us rise and close out the Shabbat service. Okay, we ready? Okay, I'll just read it. It is our duty to praise the Master of all, to ascribe greatness to the author of creation, who has not made us like the nations of the land, nor placed like the families of the earth, who has not made our portion like theirs, nor our destiny like all their multitude. For they worship vanity and emptiness and pray to a God who cannot save. But we bow. Bow down, proselyte. But we bow and worship and thank the Supreme King of Kings, the Holy One, blessed be He, who extends the heavens and establishes the earth, whose throne of glory is in the heavens above, and whose power is present in the highest of heights. He is our Elohim. There is no other. Truly He is our King. There is none else. As is written in His Torah, you shall know and take to heart this day that Yahweh is Elohim in the heavens above and on the earth below. There is no other. Bashem, Yahushua, HaMashiach, Aman, Hallelujah, Bashem, Yahushua, HaMashiach, Aman. Okay, the Shema. Shema, Yasha'Allah, Alahayinawa, Yahweh, Akkad, Wahaftha, Af Yahweh, Alahayaka, Bakal, Labukka, Wamakal, Napashka, Wabakal, Ma'aka. Hero Israel, Yahweh, Elohim is one, and thou shalt love Yahweh with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, with all thy might. In these words which I command thee, This day
this day
shall be in thy heart,
shall be in thy heart,
and thou shalt teach them
and thou shalt teach them
diligently
diligently
unto thy children,
unto thy children,
and shalt talk of them
and shalt talk of them
when thou sittest in thy house,
when thou sittest in thine house,
when thou walkest by the way,
when thou walkest by thy way,
when thou liest down,
when thou liest
and
down,
when thou risest
and
up.
when thou risest up.
And thou shalt bind them
Thou shalt bind them
for a sign
for a sign
upon thy hand,
upon thine hand,
and they shall be
and they shall be
as frontlets
as frontlets
between thy eyes.
between the
And
eyes.
thou shalt write
And
them
thou shalt write them
upon the posts
upon the posts
of thy house
of thy house,
and on thy gates.
and on thy gates.
Bashem,
Bashem,
Yahushua,
Yahushua,
Hamashiach,
Hamashiach,
Aman.
Aman.
Amadium stand. Okay, the Ten Commandments.
Oh yeah.
Anya,
Anya,
Alahayaka,
Alahayaka,
Asherah,
Asherah,
Awatazah,
Awatazah,
Afkika,
Agika,
Maratazah,
Maratazah,
Matazariyam,
Matazariyam,
Mabaya,
Mabaya,
Da'ibadam,
Da'ibadam,
La'a,
La'a,
Yahaya,
Yahaya,
Laka,
Laka,
Alahayim,
Alahayim,
Arkaryim,
Arkaryim,
Alpanya,
Alpanya,
La'a,
La'a,
Da'isha,
Da'isha,
Laka,
Laka,
Hasal,
Hasal,
Wala'a,
Wala'a,
Da'ibadam,
Da'ibadam,
La'a,
La'a,
Dalakwaka,
Dalakwaka,
Shem Yahweh,
Shem Yahweh,
Bashawa,
Bashawa,
Zakah,
Zakah,
Hayawam,
Hayawam,
Hashabah,
Hashabah,
Lakwadashwa,
Lakwadashwa,
Kabah,
Kabah,
Abaka,
Abaka,
Wa,
Amaka,
Amaka, La'a,
La'a,
Daratazah,
Daratazah,
La'a,
La'a,
Dana'a,
Dana'a,
La'a,
La'a,
Daganah,
Dagana,
La'a,
La'a,
Da'ina,
Da'ina,
Shakur,
Shakur,
La'a,
La'a,
Dakamad,
Dakamad,
Call,
Call,
Asherah,
Asherah,
Lara'ika.
Lara'ika.
The first greatest commandment. Hear, O Israel,
Hero Israel.
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Allahayim,
Allahayim,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
is one Allahayim.
Is one Allahayim.
And thou shalt love,
And thou shalt love
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
thy Allahayim,
thy Allahayim,
with all thy heart,
with all thy heart,
and with all thy soul,
and with all thy soul,
with all thy might.
with all thy might.
The second greatest commandment. Leviticus 19:18. La'a,
La'a,
the Quam,
Quam,
Wala'ah, the Tar,
the Tar,
Af, Banya,
Banya,
Ainka,
Ainka,
Waha,
Waha,
Da,
Da,
Lara'ika,
Lara'ika,
Kamawaka,
Kamawaka,
Anya,
Anya,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Thou shalt not
Thou shalt not
avenge,
avenge,
nor bear,
nor bear
any grudge,
any grudge
against the children,
against the children
of thy people,
of thy people.
but thou shalt love,
But thou shalt love
thy neighbor,
thy neighbor
as thyself.
as thyself.
I am Yahweh.
I am Yahweh,
Thy Allahayim.
the Allahayim,
Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach,
Aman.
Aman.
Okay, get
got it.
Exodus. Oh, you got it? Exodus 22 to 18.
Got it. This is Exodus chapter 20, verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water. And thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I am the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, issuing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold them that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all them that is them in it, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Aman.
Aman.
Zerkah 1,
Zerkah.
Asha'ah. You don't have to say that.
Okay.
Zerkah 1, Asha'ah, the memorial of the woman. Now when Yahushua was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, they came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for 300 pence, 1 year's wages, and give it to the poor. When Yahushua understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she has wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. But in that she has poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this that this woman has done be told for a memorial of her. Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Aman.
Aman.
The water.
The water.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Hashabah.
Hashabah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
The water.
The water.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Amafka.
Mafka.
The water.
The water.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Hashabah.
Hashabah.
The water.
The water.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Aman.
Aman.
Hallelujah.
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 Bashem.
Bashem.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Aman.
Aman.
Okay. Sisters, be seated. Stand up. Okay. Salute out. Good. You gonna be on camera? All right. Madiu. Barak. Yahweh Bashem Yashai Brakatham.
Yahweh Shabbat.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashua.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashua.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashua.
Hallelujah.
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 Okay, let's salute our sisters. Get the sisters on camera.
Come.
Okay.
It's
Yahweh Shema thumb. You say Yahweh Shema thumb to us. Okay. All right. Amadium. Barak. Men first. Yahweh Shema thumb.
Yahweh Shabbat.
Yahweh
Yahweh.
Shema
Shema.
thumb.
Ayatham.
Okay. Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashua.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashua.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam
Yah.
Hallelujah.
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 All right, so that concludes this week's Torah portion. We're going to hit the highways and byways, spread this word, spread this truth. Stay encouraged, stay informed, and be diligent. Keep the faith and get ready. Prepare as best as possible. Fellowship with those like-minded brothers and sisters that want to be a part of it with Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai. Get back in the Torah, get back in the Tanakh, get back into the New Testament understanding, and get yourself right with the Most High. Go back to these laws, statutes, commandments in the Bible, the Torah. Okay, basic instructions before leaving Earth. Okay.
And it